I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to Gary, Indiana, and the Genesis Convention Center here in downtown Gary. Today we've gathered for a brief press announcement regarding the Gary North Side Redevelopment Project. And at this time, it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you the Honorable Karen Freeman-Wilson, Mayor of the City of Gary.
I'm sure that those of you who aren't familiar with Gary saw places that you had not seen before, but I even have to admit that when you're on a bus and elevated, I saw some things that I was even surprised to see. But that was all the precursor to really introduce to you what we have been doing over the last 8 to 10 months. And back over a year ago, after I was elected mayor, I had an opportunity to meet Antonio Riley, who is the Region 5 Director for the Department of Housing and Urban Development. And when I met Mr. Riley, he came to me and at my then law office and said, "I'm from the federal government and I'm here to help." And of course, you know, when he said that, I got a little nervous. But soon after talking to him and hearing his sincerity and really his generosity with his time to hear our vision, I knew that he was in fact the real deal.
But earlier in his administration, President Obama directed the federal agencies to work together more closely, to try and build off of one another's investments and policies to have greater results than any single agency could do on its own. And that effort led us to the Partnership for Sustainable Communities, Tiger grants and collaborative efforts within the White House. Now this amazing chapter in the federal partnership started when we convened the Northwest Indiana Alignment meeting at the HUD office in January 31st, 2012. To just standing room only, there was crowds of people everywhere. We had about fewer than 8 regional administrators and federal departments were represented. Now the catalyst for this partnership was Gary's new mayor, Karen Freeman-Wilson. Another round of applause for her. And I point the mayor out because our efforts at the federal level would be in vain if it was not for the kind of bold new leadership here in the city of Gary. So she was the real catalyst for that. And it was her vision and her energy and the work that we were doing that really held, and the members of her cabinet that contributed to our success so far.
So I'm especially pleased to be here today in Gary as a co-leader of the Federal Partnership for Sustainable Communities to announce that our community revitalization work is expanding to include Gary's North Side Redevelopment Project, targeting the 4 neighborhoods designated by Mayor Freeman-Wilson. Through this federal partnership, EPA, HUD, and DOT, along with several other federal agencies and Indiana state agencies, will work with the City of Gary and private foundations to identify the resources needed to redevelop the Hoarce Mann, downtown Emerson, Aetna, and Miller neighborhoods. And I'd like to congratulate the mayor for envisioning this ambitious project, along with everyone who has worked with her on it.
EPA and HUD have been very much so, and DOT very much so, working alongside Mayor Freeman-Wilson and her team. And we have formed a very strong working relationship, and we feel that there are real opportunities to help make amazing things happen here in Gary.
Secretary of Transportation, Anthony Fox. So on his behalf, I would like to say to you, together with our federal, state, and local partners, we're working toward a brighter future for Gary and Northwest Indiana. We are committed to building strong neighborhoods that will attract the kinds of investments that will help this region's economy thrive.
The meeting was to grow our economy and to
improve the quality of life and the health of people in Northwest Indiana. And that was the purpose of today's tour. To find ways that we can collaborate and work together to build on our strengths and to benefit the current residents and the future residents of this great city.
And speaking of money, I have more good news today. EPA will be providing some initial funding to jumpstart the North Side redevelopment project. I'm pleased to announce that the City of Gary has been selected for a new $350,000 EPA brownfield grant to establish a revolving loan fund that can be used to clean up contamination at brownfield sites in the North Side neighborhoods designated by the mayor.
To ask what their ideas are to get their vision, because this isn't just about my vision or even the vision of the executive branch. This is the vision of a collective group of individuals that includes the council, but also includes the citizens of this community.